be fair. Boom! We're live because I got excited. I wanted to go live.
That thumbnail looks exactly like Brad. Brad, put your glasses on.
That is true. Brandon did send me that and go, hold on, I found a thumbnail that's identical to you. He goes, it might be like a year or two or something. I can't even remember your exact quote. Like it might be a year, maybe two. There you go. So
Nurgle Matt, we do play 40K around here. There's been a lot of interesting news, but we're skipping over all that
I'm
just
talking
to go
about
on a
that's
tangent.
tonight. We got a real cast at 7. We're talking about bad movies, Joe. This is an impromptu. It's not even that impromptu. It became impromptu yesterday. Because,
After months and months and months of you and I talking about bad movies.
yeah, and we just started going buck wild on it. I have so many IMDb pages pulled up right now, so we can go through them. But
Let's do it.
What I want to start with, and I have a little tale of woe. Sit down, kids. We've got a tale. A tale. You know what? Because of the fact that I don't have one for this, I'm going to put us down by the fire. Wow!
Okay.
That got huge.
Wow. What are we doing?
Well, I wanted to put us by the fire so I could tell a story, but it got super crazy. I wasn't ready, apparently.
I duplicated in multiples. It was pretty cool.
I love it. You know what? All I know is that's all I need from your face right there.
Right there.
Just a little
Okay.
bit.
All right.
Break.
If I slightly move out of the camera,
There we go. Giant Brandon. Bam, back in the corner. Look at, we needed a fire. I wanted to tell a story, so I needed a fire.
You are the worst at technology. I thought we were improving.
Best. I do. I have a bunch of stuff set up on the other screen. So,
Okay.
Here's the deal. One of my buddies tells me, man, I've really been watching this show. Me and my kid have been watching it from point A to point B. Love it. They made a movie about it. And that show was The Last Airbender, otherwise known as Avatar for the anime. And he was talking it up. I go into the movie, by the way. I have seen none, not one episode of Avatar. Okay. I walk into that movie, and that movie is somewhere between a 12 and 16-inch turd. It was so freaking bad. And I was just mad. I'm like literally half the movie, I'm staring at him. It's next to me going, what is happening right now that you told me that I want to see this? This is fucking awful. And I want you to hit by a car in the movie theater. I'll take a collateral damage hit. It was banana pants, man.
It was the best movie by M. Night Shyamalan.
Dude, that thing was Baruto. So, now let's talk about this. Apparently I'm going to double introduce.
I'm proud of you.
Not a problem. You know what? We're starting off today. We're going to go with an oldie because I am old. So,
Okay.
That's how we're rolling. Boom. Escape from LA. Dude, I loved Escape from New York. Snake Plissken was rocking. He was cool as shit. Escape from LA. Fucking let me get my chi together, yo. It was fucking dumb.
It was so bad.
Remember when he rides the tidal wave?
Yeah, he has like he's riding around on a surfboard, and then they just decided to make it a surfer ninja hacker movie because those three keywords were the trending topic back in the early 90s.
It's forever 40K ruin. They are changing the game. I'm excited about the change. We'll talk about that tonight. So, if anybody's seen this, don't. Actually, watch the first one, Escape from New York.
Escape from New York was an interesting satire, and it had a lot of very scenic shots, and it was a very well told story. It was a little campy, but it's good. This, I have no idea what the fuck happened.
They didn't just jump the shark. They jumped it, did 3 backflips, killed it, roasted it, ate it, and jumped it again. Oh, ride the wave of Peter Fonda. Dude, it was bad. You know what? I'm gonna go. You know what? Our next one going to.
Okay.
I didn't believe this was real. I watched
Okay.
this clips of this multiple times. This is called Tammy and the T-Rex. I want you to know. Let me give you the synopsis that you get. An evil scientist implants the brain of a murdered high school student, Michael, into a Tyrannosaurus. I don't know how the fuck he has a Tyrannosaurus, but he does. He
So
escapes,
the
wreaks the
Tyrannosaurus Rex is an animatronic T Rex, like you would
yeah.
see at a museum. Not even a real T
But I'm
Rex.
saying,
Just
why does he even have any of this? So like,
bec-
it has Denise Richards and Paul Walker, Fast and the Furious, zoom, in it. And dude, here we're gonna watch part of this.
okay.
Dude, for one, none of this. That doesn't even make sense. That isn't even part of
That's
this.
not even the trailer.
It's
for
just
this
literally
movie.
not the trailer. I have the trailer. You know
This
what?
is for Snow
This
Dogs.
is literally not the ad.
That is the trailer for Snow Dogs.
I waited
Brad.
too long. I love it. I screwed up again. By the way, I delayed so long that it just went to an ad. Now everybody got to watch an ad with me.
That's not even an
Ah.
ad. That's a trailer for a movie. It's Snow Dogs.
Yeah,
It's with
but
Cuba
it's
Gooding
not.
Jr.
But it's not here. You can see it's with Tammy and the T-Rex right there. Oh,
Do I
but
need to send you the link?
we'll pull up the trailer. We'll just do a bunch of YouTube trailers in a
Yeah.
second. But man, this one was just bananas. Like, she's just like freaking out about him. He just shows up to. My favorite is she just shows up to the window in the T-Rex animatronic, and then somehow, like in 8 seconds, she's like, "That's my boyfriend." You're like, why the fuck would you ever think that a weird animatronic T-Rex is your boyfriend?
Oh, it gets worse, Brad. At the end of the movie, after the doctor's caught, the body's destroyed, so he stays in the T Rex. So they go on a romantic date in a bedroom where she's wearing lingerie, and he's a T Rex looking through the window.
Me, man. Uh dude, this one was brutal. I was like, Paul Walker, Denise Richards in the early 90s, those were kind of big names for them.
Mm.
Dude, well, that's the thing, KR. I told Brandon, we got a couple that break this rule, but I said for bad movies, they have to be wide release movies. And then they were terrible because holy shit, no one has seen more B movies than Brandon Valley. You are you're the connoisseur of trash that I've never even heard of. So let's talk about my least favorite.
It did go to theaters. It was in theaters. Tammy the T Rex.
Yes, that made a semi-wide release. Yeah, this is 90s, man.
Yeah.
This got a 5.3 rating, by the way. This trash fire.
There's a lot of early 1990 movies that are just so bad. There's
Whoa. I think you meant to say
okay.
so good.
So
Speaking of
bad.
magical movies, wow, this doesn't make the 90s. Dungeons and Dragons, not the new one with Chris Pine. Dungeons and Dragons, the original 2000 movie, is my least favorite movie of all time. Because I love D&D and I was so excited for this, and it looked like it had a budget, and this, wow, this was like, I can't even describe it, dude. This is the best. My ex literally was sitting next to me, and we have a big group of us, and like halfway through the movie, she just stands up and didn't really mean anything. She's 5'0", and goes, "Even the nerds don't want to watch this. Why are we still here?" Fuck. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. In theaters, this is the worst movie I've ever been in.
But it has a IMDb rating of 3.6.
I don't know how. It should have a negative rating. This should have a PSA warning label on it that literally says, "Don't go see this. You'll be angry." When they throw the stone and the beholders run over to it like they're puppies. Fuck this movie.
All right, what's next on your list?
I gotta really soak this in, man. This is my least favorite.
This is your least favorite.
Johnny Mnemonic. Johnny Mnemonic is so bad that it's actually kind of funny. Because the early days of Keanu just drooling on shit. Whew. It is Death Watch when they bad. Dragon Enthusiast gave the rating. You know what? I'm going to give you a movie that I think that a lot of people will say is worse, but I don't think it's worse.
Okay.
Cats. Dude, this movie was...
See, this is as a 2.8 though, so objectively worse. And it has almost twice the amount of votes.
It was awkward. Have you guys seen this movie?
No.
Okay, it's just like weird. Like, it just looked odd. Like real odd. I'm just gonna leave this up here.
This movie bombed.
Oh,
So
bombed hard.
Yeah.
It was...
This movie destroys the whole purpose of the musical.
It was... Wow. It was not good. I'm gonna have to say.
Did you actually see it in theaters though?
No,
I did not. I
did watch it. I watched a random bootleg version. I watched it at my house because it was getting there's like bad ratings, and then there's like people were setting this shit on fire, and I'm like, I'm probably not gonna go out and see this. Oh yeah, the CGI crotch shots. It was pretty bananas.
Yeah, when the trailer was originally released, it had all the cat buttholes and everything that was
It was
showing,
fucking nuts.
and then people were so upset that they scrubbed it all in CGI. I mean, Sonic the Hedgehog got the same treatment, but thankfully they actually listened to people because that one was about to be a dumpster.
Yeah,
the way they did the CGI on that one.
All the theater people hated the movie because it just took the play and just shit all over it. You know what? I want to talk about a bad movie that is a hilarious movie, and I want everyone to go see this because it's amazing.
Okay.
Thanksgiving. Dude.
This is widely available during the Thanksgiving holiday.
Is this a trailer or is this another ad? We'll find out in a minute. Oh, this is a trailer.
Yeah.
So this, if I swear to, was that Theo Vaughn?
This is one of those C-level movies.
But,
this is something you'd find on the Sci-Fi Channel.
But this one's fantastic because of the fact that this is an actual turkey killing people on Thanksgiving. And it's bananas weird. I think the high point of the movie is when the turkey takes the face off the dad that he killed and just walks into the cabin. And they're all just like, hey, Dad, how's it going? And just like, it's no big, like, perfect disguise.
So the best part about this movie, besides the cheesy ass lines,
more than one Thanksgiving?
No,
David
wow.
just said. He said there's more than one.
A sequel. All right, that's awesome. I'll have to check it out this next holiday season. But the best part about this movie is there's one or actually no, it's not a movie. Never mind. That's Lamageddon. They are exactly the same, but the one character changes shirts every single scene he's in. He has a different shirt on.
I just love that the turkey just walks around, just like talking to people. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm just like, hey, what's up?
Hey, Michael, that's what I'm going to talk about.
Hold on, you know what? We're gonna segue right into it. What's that? Did you say Velocipaster? By the way, why do you own this? What is wrong with you? I have seen Formula 51. It's fantastic. Brandon, tell me about Velocipaster. Since you own this movie.
I do.
Also, why?
Because you loan it out to friends. Just give them a good movie. Back when I was working more, I would buy the worst movies possible and be like, oh man, you should really see this. You probably haven't seen it in theaters, and I'd give it to them without any information. They would watch it and just hate me forever. But this movie is fantastic. So the priest,
tell me about why it's fantastic.
His parents die immediately. And the way they die in a car explosion, but because the car explosion is too technical to record, I guess they didn't have the budget. They just did a square outline that said insert car explosion here.
Hold on 1 second, because I do want to tell everybody, if you haven't read it, let me read the synopsis, because this had me. And this is when I wanted Brandon to tell, because I wanted to go with regular movies that were bad. And then I saw Velocipaster, and I read this. After losing his parents, a priest travels to China, because why not? Where he inherits a mysterious ability that allows him to turn into a dinosaur, because again, yes. At first horrified by this new power, a hooker convinces him to use it to fight crime. Pause. And ninjas.
Yes.
What?
The ending of this movie is delightful. Like the costume that they chose for this, they could have just went to the Halloween store and got an inflatable Velociraptor costume, but no. They went through and made their own Velociraptor costume, and it looks quite possibly the best costume design ever. They deserve an Oscar or an Emmy or whatever it is.
So see if I'm gonna fast forward.
Velocipaster 2 is coming out soon. I believe it comes out next year.
Let's see if they have pictures of it in the thing.
Most of the fighting scenes are just like two claw hands.
Damn it! They don't have
Yeah.
in the preview.
And I like how they say it's in China when it's clearly just pine trees everywhere. And I'm pretty sure China does not have pine trees everywhere.
I just like that the fact that everything that it said just makes no sense, and you just go with it. He just turns into a dinosaur. Why? Absolutely no reason. He finds an ancient relic that gives him the power to turn into a velociraptor. Obviously.
It's like a werewolf.
And then he just decides to go to China because, yes.
Well, he's a missionary.
Of course. The dinosaur missionaries, because he's a Velocipaster.
But they are making a Velocipaster sequel. I think it comes out either this year or next year, though.
I just said, hooker convinces him to fight crime. I love that it's an end of sentence, and then they capitalize and ninjas. Like
ninjas aren't even Chinese.
I feel that when they were writing the synopsis, two dudes were in an office and they were just trashed out of their mind, and the dude's finished writing and he's like, "This is ludicrous," and one of the other guys just goes, "And ninjas." The guy's like, "Fuck it." Ninjas. Boom.
There's more CGI in this movie poster than the entire movie.
I actually think that the picture above him is from another movie.
Oh yeah, that scene does not exist in the movie.
With the Velociraptor?
The costume that he darns for being a Velociraptor, it's so atrocious. It's one of the worst I've ever seen. Looks nothing like a dinosaur.
You know what? I'm going to? We're gonna do back to back. We won't even do back to back. I'm gonna do one, and I'm gonna rage, and then we'll do something else that I'm not as mad about, and then we'll come back to another movie that I'm unbelievably angry about. You guys aren't even old enough for this. Highlander 2. Motherfucker.
I'm glad you put this on the list, Brad.
I loved the first Highlander. Loved it. Watched it a million times.
Mm-hmm.
They came out with Highlander 2, and then they were from a different goddamn planet. And Michael Ironside was this alien douche that came down, and they wrecked all of the IP. This was horrific. Did this even get a 4.2 rating? I'm going to go Jay and Silent Bob house to house to everybody that gave this more than 0 stars and punch them right in the dick. This thing was awful, and I love the Highlander. I love the show, too.
Okay, so I'm going to spoil the movie, but didn't Ramirez...
Spoil the movie?
Didn't Ramirez or Sean Connery die in the first one?
Yes.
So how the fuck does he come back in the second one?
It doesn't make any sense. He just shows up, and then he dies again as he tries to hold up this beam.
You take their head off, they're dead.
No, he doesn't die from that. In the second one, he doesn't die from that. He just dies from...
No, but he died from that in the first movie.
Yeah, I know. The Kurgan cut his head off like 400 years before this happened. Exactly. Highlander 2. Fuck our continuity. Also, everything else that's been done in the Highlander universe just ignores the fact that Zeist, oh yeah, that's the planet they're from, exists. They just blew it off. It was...
Because they had Highlander 3 that I saw in theaters, and it just went back in time with his brother, like in the 1990s.
Connor versus Duncan fight. So, I mean, everything about the Highlanders I loved before. Also, Adrian Paul, where are you? Because I haven't seen that dude since he played Duncan MacLeod. Also, the show's cool as shit. Fuck you guys if you don't like it.
Eloise loves it. So Eloise has only ever seen the show. She's never actually seen the movie.
I love the show. It's cheesy sometimes. I mean, it's cheesy a lot of time, but I love the show, like a lot. I own it. By the way, I own it on VHS. Thank you very much.
I'm proud of you. Do you even own a VHS player?
Absolutely not. But I still own them. I still own a shit ton of VHS tapes that I haven't gotten rid of, and I have absolutely no way to play them.
It's like Sword Fighting Immortals and Pawn Stars with all the artifacts.
Oh man. I'm gonna skip one and we're gonna go to a terrible movie. Super Mario Brothers, not the fucking recent one. Ooh, this one was also...
That was bad.
Oh, this was...
So this was the first video game movie.
Yeah, and it was a trash fire.
Super Mario Brothers was the most popular video game, probably still is to this day, one of the most popular video games of just recognizability. And then they came out with this fucking piece of trash.
John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins, and they had Dennis Hopper. It was like... I had high hopes.
They were drunk. Everybody was drunk the entire time they were filming this.
It was banana pants bad. Ooh. I love that movies again. It's so awful, dude. I mean, it's bad. Oh, I'm gonna let this play a little bit. You know what? I'm pausing on that. They can't go wrong with lightning. Oh, Street Fighter. You know, I didn't put Street Fighter on here because
I actually like the Street Fighter movie.
You would, of course, like it.
Yeah.
You're like, that's
it's better than this.
You're like,
it's
that's
better
Raul
than this
Julia's
shit.
last movie. Pay homage. Ooh, exactly. Golden Globe Award winner Bob Hoskins. Your father's fun. It's a line from this movie. This was, yeah. Again, 4.10. Man, does the fucking Highlander have more rating than this? Exactly the same. Man, I might have to do another movie before I go to this. You know, I am going to give some honorable mentions here, and I put up. Carmona sent me multiple movies, and then he sent me... no, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Nymphoid Barbarian in Dinosaur Hell. Attack of the 60-Foot Centerfolds. I'm going to talk about Meteor Man. I'm pretty sure no one besides me is old enough for this. This was supposed to be a superhero movie and a comedy.
Oh, no, I just watched this movie a couple months ago.
You broke my mind.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell me.
No, dude. You identified this movie.
No,
I mean,
no,
it's pretty bad.
You just saw it. Tell everybody about this.
I think this was supposed to be like the first like black directed superhero movie featuring a fantastic
Robert
cast.
Townsend starred, directed, and wrote this.
And it's just bad. It's so cheesy. Just play the trailer.
I mean, even the trailer's bad too.
Blank Man is also another one.
But you know what? I'm not even playing this trailer. This movie was terrible.
That's not even the trailer for this movie.
I know. And so I let all these go for a while, and they just started playing all of the ads while I let it go. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for the sheer amount of ads that IMDb apparently puts in.
Well, they got to pay for their website one way or another.
True story.
But this movie was supposed to do really well, and it just did not.
It was a legend. It did, however, have a 5.2 IMDb rating, which was higher than the last things like that. Also, 5.2.
Throughout the entire movie, like his powers just change every single time. He doesn't have a consistent set of powers. He's like, I could reach super fast. Now I could jump super high. It's weird.
I like Robert Townsend. This movie was just terrible. You know what was really, really terrible? Enough time is not. Hold on, I gotta center myself. You threw me for a loop when you were like, I watched this recently. I was like, what?
I did. I wanted to see why it was so bad. My wife also had wild mood changes.
Trash can man has arrived. Yeah, let's screw it. We're going into Alien. Do I actually have the Alien trailer? Yes, I do. Okay, so let's talk about things. Alien 1. Amazing horror movie. It's a horror movie. It's a suspense
It
thriller.
is a defining horror movie
It's
set in space.
Yes, it's a suspense thriller. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Aliens 2, one of my favorite action movies of all time.
Defining.
And-
Like, it defined the video game industry, it defined 40K, it defined everything. Alien 3.
Wow.
Have you actually read any of the books or comics what Alien 3 was supposed to be?
Not like in the last 20 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, because Alien 3 was so bad, the authors and Dark Horse Comics have been releasing scripts of proposed ideas of where Alien 3 was supposed to be. Infinitely better. They're so much better. It's such a shame that this is the trash fire that we got.
Also, 6.4 is a lie. I
will say when they do the extended version where they add that extra 30 minutes, it does help it a little bit, but it's still really bad.
Oh yeah, this is the acting in this is just wow. Like the dudes that are all running the prison, like they could not make a high school drama. Like they would get kicked off. Like, I'm sorry, but you guys are just not good enough for Okahumpky High School.
I don't know how in anyone's mind killing off 3 of the main characters in the previous movie that everyone is very excited about, and then killing the last character at the very end of the movie is an acceptable way to end this franchise.
I mean, this movie was bad. I argue that this is...
I still think this movie is better than Alien Resurrection, though.
You know, we're going to have that argument right. You know what? Hold on. Pull. Everybody misses Hudson. He's awesome. Which is worse? Oh, no, that's a Q&A. I don't want a Q&A. I want a pull.
The basketball scene. Yeah, in Alien Resurrection, the basketball scene. The coolest scene in the entire movie of Alien Resurrection is the guy with the wheelchair. And where he just like, oh man, I need a gun. So he just pulls all these random ass parts off his wheelchair, gets a shotgun. That's the coolest part. The rest of the movie is trash. It's so bad.
Poll is up.
Alien 4, worse. Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
See, here's the reason I think Alien 3 is worse, because it was immediately... I had such excitement and expectations for Alien 3 because I love the first 2 movies so much. I was like, man, this is gonna be awesome. The first 2 movies were smashing. And then they put out this stinky butthole, and wow, man, I just didn't know what to do. I'm like,
Alien 1 and 2 were genre defining. There are so many movies that were created because these movies came out. Like more than Star Wars, more than Star Trek, more than most military movies. There's over 250 spin-offs of aliens.
I mean, you should know. Let's go to your house. Brandon has everything alien you could ever imagine in his home.
Yeah. Here, let me go get my pulse rifle. hold one moment, please.
Alien 3 tops it for me just because of the fact that, again, I had such high expectations, and then Alien 4 came out, and I was just like, of course it's a trash fire, because the last one was a trash fire.
See, there you go. Pulse rifle.
All right, now you guys are going to get me on a wild tangent here. What do you think of Emil and Ramos? Okay, so Prometheus was one of the best trailers I had ever seen, and then Prometheus let me down so bad. Especially those 2 idiot scientists. The biologists... Here, I'm going to go into my... You know what? I'm ranting. Screw this. Give me my soapbox. Okay. 1, Prometheus. Awesome.
Hey, if you stood on a soapbox,
I'd be almost 6 feet tall. So Prometheus trailer, banana pants good, so good. They go in and you have the guy whose whole job is to map and engineer, figure out everything. He's that guy. He's with the biologist. They instantly get lost somehow, even though the stupid pyramid literally forms a square. It has levels, so you could just backtrack immediately. Also, he already mapped it. The biologist finds an alien life form and immediately sticks his face 1 inch away from it. You deserve to die. I was cheering for him to die at that point. He sucks. I would be 8'10" on a soapbox. That's a big soapbox. I would look at the Alien trailer, but I've been deceived by Alien trailers before. Again, Prometheus. Also, the stupid ship rolling straight. It's a freaking donut. They could have went left or right. Nope, run straight.
Yeah.
Oh,
Rip.
you. The girl's apparently tough as hell because she had a freaking alien abortion ripped out of her stomach and stapled up, and then immediately started running sprints. I was like, she's significantly tougher than I am.
Yep. I mean, she got yeeted across the room too. So
she fought. She like kung fu fought and ran wind sprints. 2 seconds after having hardcore surgery.
So I like the general concept of Prometheus. It was really poor execution. And then they came out with Alien Covenant, which I thought would be a continuation of the story of what happened from Prometheus, because they're like, we're gonna go back to this other world. And then they just completely made a completely different movie. Oh. It had nothing to do with the engineers.
Nope. Also, the promo videos, Prometheus had possibly the best ad campaign I've seen in forever. The ads were sick. They did exactly those promo video type things. Everything they were leading up to it was badass. I was so psyched for Prometheus. Prometheus isn't even that bad. It's just I was so psyched up.
It was very visually appealing though. It looked really good though.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a dumpster fire, but it looked really cool.
Oh, but I'm just saying, like they just did such a great ad campaign that I was on the edge of my seat, so psyched up to watch it. Fassbender's always great.
I also like Alien Covenant too, but there's a big problem with that. I don't know why.
That was so stupid. When David just goes, "Hey man, I'm actually what's his face, Mike, whatever the other robot was," and you're just like, "Dude, you're clearly not that guy." And they're like, "Yes, I am." And they went, "Okay, we believe you." And he's like, like, "Dude, this is so stupid."
Well, the problem with that movie is they released all these videos, like video teasers, like explaining how we got to this point, and they're all available on YouTube. There was like 6 of them. It explains the background of the crew. It explains what happened to David and how he got there. They just cut all that shit out of the movie, and they just started with the spaceship catching on fire. So you're just like, if you only watch the movie, you have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Hey, you had to watch the comic that went with it.
Yeah, which
the comic was actually kind of cool.
But realistically, who's going to watch that unless you're a diehard fan?
True story. I will, because I don't sleep and I watch weird YouTube videos all night.
And then they also did the retcon of, hey, this android created all the aliens. Even though they were just in the previous movie, you clearly see an alien on the wall and it's several thousand years old. So clearly this isn't the case, but David created all the aliens. It makes no fucking sense.
No. Well, they already did it too in the previous one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like in Prometheus, they physically show the alien on the wall.
Yep.
He is there in the temple, and then they go to Covenant, and it's implied that David created aliens. And I'm like, no, that's not how any of this works.
So many bad things. I got to go back because a couple of people said movies that I want to talk about in the beginning.
Let's do it. I want to know how the poll's going. Yeah, Alien Resurrection's way worse. They brought Ripley back from the dead 250 years after she threw herself into fucking molten lava. And then 2, she literally has intercourse with the aliens. 3, they fit in like 30 minutes of this weird cloning subplot where they show like all of Ripley's clones because she's number 8. So they show the first 7 and they're all like mutated and people made fun of it, including South Park. And it's just, I didn't know if the movie was trying to capitalize on this universe or if they were just trying to say that these are the evils of cloning. But then they crash land on Earth, which is super cool, and you see Earth is completely destroyed, and then they never talk about it again. Like, what happened on Earth? Why does it look like that? It's not because of the spaceship, and the spaceship lands in Africa. Because why not?
Dude, you brought up a movie for me, and I want to bring up a point. Does Jason Statham have like bonkers hardcore gambling debts or something? Why does he keep putting out stupid movies? Like he's also just like all his movies now just have a title besides the Meg. As for when I say title, he's just like a job description. He's the beekeeper, he's the engineer, he's the janitor, he's just some guy.
But some of the movies are entertaining. But then you have Meg 2. So I'm gonna do a little background on this. So last summer Eloise and I went to the drive-in theater. She really wanted to see the Barbie movie, and I'm like, cool, let's go. But how drive-in movie theaters work is you see two movies. So the first movie was Meg 2. Now, I really don't like those kinds of movies. I think they're dumb. The Meg 2 is nothing but 2 hours of pandering to the Chinese community. That's it. It's 2 hours of pandering to the Chinese community. It has nothing to do with action. There's nothing to do with sharks. It's just beyond stupid.
Look,
And then we see the Barbie movie, and you remember last summer, Brad? I was ranting about that shitty movie for like a solid month and a
for
half.
a while.
Literally the worst movie I've ever seen before.
Man, he was so good in the Italian Job. He was Handsome Rob.
He was good in Expendables. He was good in a lot of just random.
Transporter, the first one.
Yeah.
A movie that made no sense but was just fun. You're like, what? Why is the girl in the suitcase? What is even happening right now? But
I truly believe that Meg 2 was released in order for that movie theater, I think it was at Lionsgate, to just make millions of dollars from the Chinese people. That's it. That is the only purpose of that movie. It is that bad.
I think
It's just like,
I think that
Go ahead.
Jason Statham's trying to be the next Nick Cage, where he's just like, I don't care. Put me in I want to make a movie every month. Let's do this.
nah. Because he always plays the same character.
Maybe
At least Nick Cage mixes it up a little bit.
he mixes the crazy up. He's just like,
Yeah.
I'm crazy, but a different crazy. Nick Cage has an Oscar.
Yeah, but at least he tries. Jason Statham is literally the same exact character in every single movie.
He just shows up. Okay,
I don't even think he has a wardrobe. I literally think he just wears the clothes out of his
he
closet.
shows up. They're like,
And then builds a
in
scene.
action, Jason, act like Jason Statham. Got it.
Just be like yourself. Punch that guy in the face.
Just do Jason Statham stuff. Oh God. Statham himself cites Stallone, Bruce Lee, Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, and Clint Eastwood as his inspirations. I mean, he just plays Jason Statham.
All right. What's next on the shit movie list?
Yeah, that's everything I had lined up. I want to talk about some more though.
All right.
'Cause-
How are we not talking about Battlefield Earth?
Well, I wanted. This is the thing. I wanted to leave some of the big baddies for the end. So.
Okay. All right. So I sent you a video to a movie that it went to theaters. It came out in the 80s. It was during the craze of all the karate movies, called Jim Kata. Can we watch that trailer?
Is that a real movie though?
It is a real movie.
You keep saying it's a real movie, but like Velocipaster didn't see a whole lot of wide
Velocipaster
release.
did not. No. Jim Kata made $5.7 million in theaters.
I mean, Battlefield Earth was it cost like $1 zillion to make. Also, by the way,
Mind you, this is happening in the year 3000, and they still have access to fighting falcons and tomahawks.
yeah. I mean, it's been a while. A real movie, exactly. Ooh, Battleship was bad. Didn't that have Liam Neeson in it also?
So the only thing I remember about Battleship is that they went to Hawaii and they took a marooned battleship, made it operational, and was shooting a maroon battleship at the alien cruiser in the middle of the ocean, and they were successful, and they were using World War II Pacific veterans to do it. So it's like you just see a bunch of these old guys running this old ship that literally cannot run because it's marooned, firing cannons and moving this boat. It was dumb as shit too.
Battleship was, you know what? Let's see what kind of rating they got. I'm curious because that movie was like Holy shit! By the way, Battlefield is the worst movie rating that we've had so far. By the way, Thanksgiving had a better rating than all the rest. Dude, this movie is wow, 5.8. That's a lie. Carmona's barely beating people up to our park. I'm not going to your neighborhood, man. Oof. 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 Anna, the only moment I paid attention is in Battleship was the moment where the weapons look like red white markers from the game, and I was like, well, that was something.
So speaking of Hasbro movies, why haven't they made a Hungry Hungry Hippos movie?
They pretend on that.
Why haven't they?
by the
That's
way,
such an easy movie.
Speaking of like wide release movies, what are we on, like Transformers 9 or something?
Too many. I think we're at 7.
See, Rise of Skywalker is still not as bad as like Battlefield Earth. I mean, it's not even close.
Let's see. You have Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark Side of the Moon, Age of Extinction, The Last Night, Bumblebee, and then Rise of the Beasts, which came out last year. So there's
You also have the animated one.
Well, that's different. That one's great for its own reasons, like literally killing off all the characters and traumatizing a whole entire generation of children.
Carmona, let's just let people be crazy and just leave them alone. KR Ultramarine movie wasn't wide release,
but it was still bad.
It was bad.
It was awful.
By the way, after we talked about that, I went and looked that up on YouTube, and I was just like, I'm angry now that I fucking watched this.
All right, let's watch Jim Cotta. I sent you the link to your Gmail.
Hold on, I have to I kind of am showing you what's on my screen, so I can't exactly just pop into different shit. Bam.
Speaking of Carnosaur, Carnosaur is a ripoff of Aliens. It's literally is Aliens 1 for 1.
Just we're not. You want some sound for this? Jim Cotta. I guess I could make this actually fit in here, but that makes me sad. It'll change all my other things. You know what? We're watching this weird view.
Make your Olympic training look like finger painting.
Is he gonna fight people with gymnastics?
Yes, that's the entire premise of this movie.
If he wins,
is that like a sorcerer? Who is this guy?
No, I think the long and short of it is his dad gets kidnapped and he's a special agent, so they send his son in, who's this guy doing gymnastics, and he beats everyone's ass using gymnastics.
There is one chance for 1 minute.
Why do I not know about this?
None.
I know about all the stupid 80s movies. I was there. In the early days, I was there.
His title, World Gymnastics Champion. His assignment.
Oh, they even got the fucking dude doing the fucking voiceover.
His government. His only
this is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
And that's all he needs.
Did she just judo chop him?
Don't trust anyone.
This guy's a bad guy in every movie.
Combine the power of
what is happening with this dude with the comments?
Jim Cotta.
I'm watching this back to back. Wow. I got another bad movie lined up. This is gonna be a busy evening. What? He just did a flip over it. What is... Ah! He just dropped the people's elbow on a guy.
Ready?
I love the fact that everybody's waiting for him, by the way. Every single one of the other stuntmen is like waiting for him to hit him and or throw their punch so he can block it.
When gymnastics and karate are fused, the combustion becomes an explosion, and a new kind of martial arts superhero is born.
What?
I'm sorry.
lot of flipping going on. He's just pommel horsing you guys.
Jim Cotta.
You know what? I'm leaving that up right there. That is
Jim Cotta.
wow. What the fuck? How do I not know about that?
Did you see Troll 2? I'm pretty sure Troll 2 went to theaters too.
I have Troll 2 up. Troll 2. I don't know if that's a wide release though. Did Troll 2 come out wide?
It made the budget was between $4 and $5 million for that movie.
I mean,
Oh,
does
well,
it look like it?
it's an Italian movie. That's why.
I'm going back to this, dude. There we go.
Let's go to Troll 2.
That's the kind of budget we have right there. 82% of Google users like Jim Cotta. Ah, the Jim
Troll
Cotta,
2 is
the
delightful.
Legend of Fail.
Troll 2 is delightful. So everyone talks about The Room being a movie that's so bad it's good. If you are a fan of movies that are so bad it's good, watch Troll 2. Way better than The Room.
Tell me about Troll 2.
Okay, so we got to start because this is a franchise now. So they made
Why not?
so they made Troll 1. And it was a movie about trolls taking over an apartment complex, and they ate a bunch of people.
Isn't that Jennifer Aniston in that one?
I think so. It was in California. Yeah. And then because that movie was so popular, like it actually did well for a horror movie budget in the 80s, they made Troll 2. The problem is that this movie doesn't have trolls in it whatsoever. They're goblins. It has nothing to do with the previous movie. They just said, hey, Troll 2, but it's a movie about a bunch of goblins. So the premise of Troll 2 is that this family wants to do a house exchange and to go visit this town of Nyborg, which is goblin spelled backwards. Surprise, surprise. And there are some of the wackiest fucking deaths possible and some of the most memorable lines. Like this one kid goes there and he has sex with this goblin witch, and because the sex is so hot, they cook an entire RV full of popcorn. And he suffocates to death in popcorn.
What the hell?
So the goblins, they turn people into this green mush that they eat. And one of the most memorable, iconic lines for this movie is, "Oh my God, they're eating her. They're going to eat me next." And it's completely just deadpan. Play the trailer, Brad. But we got to watch the trailer for this one.
You know what? Fine.
Because you're going to see it. And put the sound on for it.
Sounds on. Let's do it.
You're late.
Watching the Troll
Sorry, we
2
had a small
trailer.
mishap.
I'm going to turn my sound on.
Here are the keys. Here are ours.
Have a nice stay at Mill Pond.
You in our city.
Like guys mentioned.
Still telling the same story, Josh?
Powers of evil are very strong here. I must leave.
Goblins don't exist. Goblins don't exist.
And remember,
Stop the car, Dad! I'm sick!
they're eating her! Then they're going to eat me!
Ah! Mom!
So dizzy.
Yeah, they turn people into trees and stuff.
I mean, apparently you can buy it on Blu-ray.
Delightful.
Wow.
So good. Just watch it.
Holy shit. Leprechaun in the Hood.
That's another
Leprechaun was what
fantastic
Jennifer Aniston was saying, not Troll. I just remember actors that got big that are in terrible movies originally. All right, give me a wide release terrible movie that we can talk about. We're rounding the corner.
Independence Day Resurgence.
Oh my god, that game movie was so bad.
I want an independent. Okay, so Independence Day was one of my favorite movies growing up. Yeah, it's a
It's campy
pro-American
as
rah
shit. I
rah rah
love it.
movie, but it's fantastic. You have awesome actors. You have very memorable scenes. The destruction work of the cities is fantastic. Like that's not CGI. It's actual explosions happening. Like is amazing for the amount of work they did. And then they came out with Independence Day Resurgence, which is
Boom.
by far
There
just
it
a dumpster
is.
fire. It's so awful. I'm still disappointed.
It's terrible. Man, it's the. I went with hope. It was bad. I watched this. I love the first Independence Day. Independence Day Resurgence was like, wow.
Well, and then they forced, and it has a higher rating. Look at that 5.2, Brad. I mean, tough. 3 stars on average.
It's just.
So the stripper in the previous movie becomes a doctor, and then she dies immediately. And then they shoehorn in this entire plot line about other aliens that are fighting these aliens. And then they try to make it, they're like, oh, this is going to be a trilogy. It's going to be fantastic. And it bombed so bad that we're never going to have a third one.
Yeah. It was tremendously bad. I'm trying to think of things that like were give me somebody give me something that's has to be wide release. So it can't be
You don't do-
Carmona's Nympho.
Who killed Captain Alex?
Are you making stuff up now?
I'm not. Look it up. Do you
Who
need me to
killed-
send you the link?
Who killed Captain Alex?
It is a movie made in Uganda for $200.
I said wide release. You
I
said-
mean, it's amazing though. Actually, KR,
Jesus.
I agree with you. I think the Hobbit trilogy was really fucking disappointing. They took that movie and split it into 3 different movies, and it should have just been one.
You don't shit talk Shaq's movies. We had Shaq Fu, Sam.
The Hobbit trilogy is awful, Brad.
Why did they make The Hobbit into 3 movies? The shortest book.
Why did they make it into 3 movies, and then why did they change the color tones?
They just added everything.
If you look at the color tones, they're so distracting.
Crank One was a masterpiece. Thank you very much.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Again, you have to go. I'm talking about wide release movies.
That one is a wide release movie, Brad.
Winnie
It
the
went to
Pooh, Blood and
theaters.
Honey, there's no way that was wide release.
It went to theaters, yes.
Like what? Your home theater in the basement? That does not
No,
count.
it literally went to movie theaters. It came out last October.
I
And the
do
reason
not
it-
believe. Hold on, I'm looking this up. Winnie the Pooh, Blooded 2023.
Yeah, it came out last October.
Nice 2.9 rating.
Winnie the Pooh went to public domain, so they couldn't trademark it anymore, and they made a horror movie immediately about it. And they're doing the same thing for Steamboat Willie.
I did. What the fuck is? Look, you know what? I'm reading this because after Christopher Robin abandons them for college, Pooh and Piglet embark on a bloody rampage as they search for a new source of food. What?
This movie was super marketed. Michael's right. Like this was the defining movie of October 2023.
Did this make any money?
No.
Yeah, Street Fighter was just god awful. Well, throw it down. He did. Rob, it's so sad too because he's an amazing actor, and that was his last movie because he passed away. You're just like, oh, couldn't you have been in something else last? Give us your Paul movie. He's in a lot of good movies. So I got to see what you're gonna say. I mean, Super Mario Brothers. We already went over that.
Yeah,
one.
we
Come
already talked
on.
about Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers was horrific. I'm trying to think of the worst big budget movie we could talk about. We're heading into the final stretch.
The final stretch.
The final countdown. Ba-do-do-do. So I'm trying to figure out what came out that was just terrible. It has to be wide release. It can't be, Planet 9. It has to be something that came out big.
That one was wide release too. The Emoji Movie.
I don't think it's the worst movie though. It's just bad.
It's awful. Okay, the Emoji Movie is so bad that I wanna put a little fun fact into your head, Brad. Saudi Arabia for the longest time has banned movies, and when the prince allowed movies to be shown in Saudi Arabia, the first movie they saw was the Emoji Movie.
Highlander 1 and Highlander TV series, true story. Yes, yeah, that's true. That Ghostbusters was terrible. Playmaker, the live action Mulan made me want to punch a baby because Mulan, the animated movie, is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time. And I was so angry at watching that.
I mean, I would argue that's not a wide release because it went straight to streaming. It never went to theaters.
That's because of stupid COVID.
Yeah, that movie's so disappointing too. Actually, there's been a lot of Marvel movies recently that have just been very uninspired.
I mean, they were bad. They were like legendary bad though. Like the Marvels was bad. It wasn't like the worst movie I've ever seen kind of bad. Valerian was bad. Valerian was bad because I thought it was going to be. I had high hopes for it, and it was very meh.
Actually, guys, you want me to trigger Brad?
Oh God, what are you gonna give me?
Ender's Game.
Fuck you. It's not even the worst movie, but it's my favorite book by far. But like, I've read Ender's Game so many times. I also have like 7 copies of it in my house because I buy it every time I see it. I'm like Mel Gibson when he plays the crazy dude and has to buy all the copies of Catcher in the Rye. Kroll, you know what? I'm gonna bring this up. Most of you guys don't know about it at all because KR and I are old people. Kroll the Conqueror was so bad. It's the I think the only movie I've ever walked out of.
Isn't Kroll the movie where the guy tosses like a 5-pointed star knife thing, kills everybody?
Yep. Okay. Ender's Game wasn't even the worst movie. It's just because of the fact that it's my favorite book and I've read it so many times, and they left out all of the things that made the book my favorite book. They just didn't go over all. There's so many dynamics that they just plowed through like so fast. Yeah, Waterworld's not even as bad of a movie as the fact that it was just such a colossal dumpster because of the fact they spent so much money on it. Mm-hmm. It's bad, but it's not the worst. It's the worst compared to how much it made, because I'm pretty sure it made like $8 and it cost $150 million to make. Whew.
You know, it's another movie that I just don't like, and I know it has a fan club. Reign of Fire. Reign of Fire is awful.
Spider-Man 3 is bad, which sucks because Spider-Man 2 is fantastic. 100%, Anna. 1 and 2 were super fun, and then 3 came out, and you're like, boo! It was so bad. Mad Max at Sea. Yeah, it's kind of what it was trying to be, but it was more like Dirt World.
Brad, this is going to make you feel old, but I had my first date in high school at Spider-Man 1.
I was a little bit past that. Fuck, that movie was bad. All right, somebody give me some surefire series. Give me some surefire badness. Fine, I'll accept the fact that Alien 4 is considered worse.
It 1000% is worse.
The turret's running out of fucking ammo. Stupid as fuck.
The problem with Spider-Man 3 is they just had way too many characters. Anytime they put a movie in where there's like 900 characters and they try to truncate it into a 2-hour time frame,
dude,
it just ruins the plot.
Oh, really? You couldn't ruin any farther than him dressed emo doing jazz hands while he walks.
Yeah, but that being emo was a big popular thing back then.
Hey, you're like, get out of here. Somebody needs to punch Peter Parker in his head. So stupid.
So out of all these movies, what do you think is the worst? Are you sticking with Dungeons and Dragons?
I'm sticking with Dungeons and Dragons. It's wide release. Has to be wide release. Superman vs. Batman was bad, but it wasn't Dungeons and Dragons bad. Give me something that you guys think is worse than Dungeons. You know, I could go for a Battlefield Earth combo. It's just Dungeons and Dragons for me was just terrible. Batman and Robin. Oh God, I didn't even think about the end of the Batman series before they
Batman and Robin.
Batman Forever, Batman and Robin.
Those two, or Batman and Robin, is viewed as one of the worst movies
That's
of
the
all
one
time.
where he's got nipples, right? In the batsuit for some unknown reason.
Yeah.
On the Battlefield Earth one.
Oof. All right, so let's put up a poll. Let's list off the 4 movies.
Right,
so you think Dungeons and
agree
Dragons?
on a couple of the bad movies, though.
Alien Resurrection, 100%.
I mean, there's some bad, but like the problem with saying Kroll KR is people just don't remember Kroll. It's been like a hot minute.
It's available on Amazon.
Fine. Start a poll. Worst movie. All right, so we're gonna go Alien 4.
Yeah.
I'm putting up D&D. All right, what else do we have? We're gonna vote on it.
Oh, Highlander 2.
Oh, fuck me. That's so
and I'm gonna throw it in here. Meg 2.
You want Meg 2? I mean, that's
Yeah.
as many options as I can put up. I can only put up 4 options.
Let's do it.
Screw it. Maybe there's probably worse movies, but this is what we're putting in the poll. I love that, 13th Warrior was big box office loss, but I do love that movie because it plays like D&D Adventure does. It was fun. I loved it. I love the 13th Warrior. I've watched it a bunch of times. It literally feels like a one-off D&D adventure. I would love for somebody to run that campaign. I would play that adventure.
See, you can't go of box office losses because there's lots of well-known movies that are extremely popular and have a cult following that are really good who bombed at the box office.
True story.
Like, what's it called? The Thing. They Live. There's a few other movies I'm trying to think of. Yeah, Blade Runner. That's another one.
Oh, hell yeah. And I would love to be in that. Blade Runner is my second favorite movie. Not that Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner.
Yeah, but it bombed at theaters.
Yeah.
Like,
however, it's also been re-released like 14 times. There's so many editions of it. Ready? Here's my favorite movies in order: Usual Suspects, Blade Runner, Garden State. There you go.
Actually, you want to talk about a movie that was probably by far one of the most disappointing ones for me? Pacific Rim 2.
I didn't even know they had a Pacific Rim 2.
That's what I'm saying. It's that disappointing. Pacific Rim was a very well done kaiju smash 'em up movie, like with bright colors. Like it looked visually phenomenal. The character acting was lame, but it was a really cool movie. Like it had awesome music, and then they made a sequel. It was just awful. They took all the iconic elements of the first movie, threw them in the dumpster, and they came out with the sequel, and it bombed.
You know what? I'm going back. We're going back to sitting by the fire to end this stream.
Yep.
Very casual.
That's you're exactly right. 1+ saves. They lost the guy who brought the magic.
I brought the magic.
You always bring the magic.
I've got the magic in me.
All right.
And
So it
I'm
looks
saying
like
that's about it.
Dungeons and Dragons is pulling it away.
It was bad. We should probably, we're over 60-something minutes. Like and subscribe. Yes. I'm the best at this.
Yes.
Please like and subscribe. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, helps out a lot. Keeps me with the lights on, which is fantastic.
And anytime they add a plucky kid into a movie, we call that a Kevin. We don't actually want them. They ruined Godzilla movies with that shit. They ruined so many different kaiju movies and like martial arts movies. Anytime they shoehorn in a child, it's done poorly 99% of the time, and it's awful. I can only think of like one movie that's actually decent, and that's Aliens. But it's because she's literally a mute. She doesn't talk that much.
Shitty TV shows next week. You know what? I might do both, Mike. I might do my favorite TV series because a lot of them are bad.
Godzilla -1 is an absolutely amazing movie. It's
haven't
one of
seen
the
it.
very. You haven't seen it? It's on Netflix right now.
I'll check it out.
It's so good. It's actually the first Godzilla movie to win an award.
For best movie ever.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very well done.
Wing Commander was bananas bad. Wing Commander was just showed game footage basically. was so awful. All right.
All right. So I got an idea, Brad. All right. If you're watching this video, you need to send oldmanbrad40k@gmail.com your suggestions for the worst movies ever. And maybe we'll do another video highlighting all these other terrible movies.
I'm doing another video. We might do another one on this, but we're gonna definitely do one on series. It might be good, but series though. I want to talk about the original Battlestar Galactica series from the 70s.
What was the one one television show that was on the Sci-Fi Channel that came out like in the 90s, early 2000s? It was similar to that, but they had like really cool looking spacecraft. It was a Battlestar Galactica, but like they start on Earth and.
You're gonna give me something else to go on.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
It could be Earth 2. I think that was too early for Earth 2.
So
whatever.
What other generic talk? They were like green spacecraft and they had like cool ass helmets and shit. It was a good show. I don't remember.
You know what? That's what we should do. You know, I'm gonna make you know what we should do? Let's make a tier list of sci-fi and fantasy series. But I'm gonna have to get one done because I usually just steal, them and then make my own. Somebody give me I need a tier list. We're doing a tier list next week, Brandon.
Okay.
Tier
and these are
list of
sci-fi series?
Sci-fi and fantasy series. And we're gonna tier them up, A to F.
We need a good list though, because a lot of the movies that I watch and a lot of the shows and movies you watch are different.
Series. That's why we'll be able to argue about them.
I don't think we'll be able to argue about them because there's a lot you've seen that I haven't seen.
True, and then I'll get to say this is what I say, and it stands. Everything I watch is S tier. Video suggestion. Ooh, that's a good one.
Space Above and Beyond. That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that was a good one. I do like that. David, that is good. Here's a good video suggestion. Good movies to watch while you paint that's not 40K or Lord of the Rings related. We can do that. Write that down, Brandon. I'll forget that immediately. So here's what we're doing. We're going to do that. But next week, I'm doing a tier list of sci-fi and fantasy series.
And these are television or book series?
What's that?
The tier list is...
television series. Sci-fi and fantasy series. Tier list.
And then movies to pay to.
Hell yes. Hell to the yeah. Also, 40K Lorecast. Boom. Also, if you want coaching stuff and things, oldmanbrad40k@gmail.com.
Send your recommendations in for sci-fi and fantasy movies. Or not movies, series. Yeah.
I'm in. All right. Queens Wave us out of here.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. At what time are you streaming tonight, Brad?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. And who's going to be on tonight?
Whoever wants to.
Whoever wants to.
It's going to be Horton, myself, and a cast of characters. All we're doing is talk about the new stuff.
There's a lot of new stuff, so I guess we'll be there.
Can do it.
I'll jump on for that one.
Well, let's do it. I love to talk nerd. I mean, let's be honest. I could have stopped it at I love to talk, but I also love to talk nerd.
You could talk to a box of pizza.
True story.
All right. On that note, see you guys later.
Gators.